Welcome back to the channel, you guys. I admit that today I have a heavy heart. 2 nights ago, I discovered that there is a rumor, still kind of being said as a rumor, that there is a data center going in north of Marshfield, Missouri in Webster County. Moving to southern Missouri is the best thing I've ever done for my family. It kind of has just come from nowhere. It's totally wrapped in like secrecy and very clandestine, and nobody knows anything. Even according to the commissioners, they didn't know anything. And it's almost so much silence, like deafening silence about it, that it seems almost suspicious. It's crazy what crickets there are over this data center. It appears that there is a data center that's going in at the end of Gun Rifle Road, north of Marshfield. And yeah, I don't want to share any other like things that I've heard because I haven't been able to verify anything. And I did call the commissioners, and they weren't, the feeling that I got from the language being used is that they are aware that this is happening now. But it's still just so strange that there's such silence. And they were also really surprised that I wanted to schedule a meeting to talk about it. And I was really surprised that I was like the first one to call them. Like, just the whole thing is so weird of like just how much silence and like, yeah, it's deafening to me. So I did. When I called them, I made an appointment, scheduled a meeting, and it is going to be May 11th at 10 a.m. And that is going to be at 101 South Crittenden, room 12 in Marshfield. And I really encourage like everyone to come if you are concerned and love the aquifers and all of the waterways here in southern Missouri. I do not see this even as just a Webster County issue. If you look at that area, it, like so many of these other counties, is sitting on the Springfield Plateau aquifer and then like 3 other layers of aquifer. That aquifer, the Springfield aquifer, is so huge. I don't even know how many counties. I'm going to guess like 20 or more counties. And I believe it goes through parts of Oklahoma, Kansas, and Arkansas. One data center isn't a localized issue. When they go wrong, it affects so many people who are connected to the waterways. And that really is going to be my focus is, what the commissioners have said is that, hey, we don't have planning and zoning. There's nothing we can do. And that's not true, because what we're going to talk about health and safety concerns. I don't know how much support we're going to get at the state level. And I called DNR today, and good Lord, like, first of all, I called Springfield and I called Jefferson City, and there's just not a lot of discussion even within DNR about data centers. And pretty much Missouri is wide open, completely unregulated. I tried to make a joke with a guy from Department of Natural Resources how it felt like it was harder to get approval from DNR for an RV park than it was for one of these data centers. And he got so kind of upset, I felt like, when I said that. And then, he said, well, if they want to discharge wastewater, then, they have to go through the same, strict criteria as everyone else. And I don't think that's true either. I'm going to be honest. I would way rather live next to like a lagoon with a bunch of RVs. I would than a data center that's using, at bare minimum, 300,000 gallons a day, up to just shy of 10 million. The large ones easily can use 5 million. There's a few that are monsters that are reported to be just under 10 million gallons a day of water. And I'm just realizing, because I know that people talked about the concentration and I didn't totally understand how that was happening. And now I get it more. So there are 2 types of systems for data centers. And a lot of people talk about how efficient they're becoming and how little water they use. And none of that is actually really even true anyway. Even the ones that are supposed to be closed loop systems are having to have all of the lines bled and cleaned so much because they're literally creating like solid blocks of toxic goo that have to be purged from the system. And I don't see DNR looking at that discharge. Where is that going? And I believe that concentrated sludge was connected to the lawsuit that we just saw in Oregon, because the way that these cooling towers work is they're evaporating the water. So we're getting massive amounts of air pollution. People are getting sick from the air pollution because it's super concentrate, right? But then you have what's left, this water residue, toxic sludge, which is like forever chemicals and heavy metals. And I'm actually going to call DNR again with more like specific, specialized questions, but I do not see them looking at those types of discharge. And if they were, I don't think that we would have so many cases of poisoned aquifers as we're seeing across the country. So many people that are reporting now that their water is like brown, and they can no longer even wash their clothes. They no longer drink the water. And the problem is that obviously proper oversight isn't happening, obviously. And so we're just backpedaling in this like fight with lawsuits. And then, this town of Oregon got $20 million for a poisoned aquifer. I mean, what's that going to do? It's not going to do them any good. Marshfield is significant for a few reasons. One, according to what I've been told, is it is the headwaters of the James River, or at least incredibly significant as a somewhat of a head. It is sitting right on top of that Springfield Plateau aquifer, which is so vast and connects so many people together. Between those two sources of water alone, I mean, honestly, all of Springfield should care about this data center going in. I truly believe that if we can stop this data center in Marshfield, we're going to have a really good foothold for what is coming in southern Missouri, because I do not believe this is going to be the only one. I'm now seeing that because we don't have planning and zoning, we are at risk. And wow, I mean, so many of us came here for no planning and zoning, and then isn't it ironic, right? Like the very kind of development that we do not want to be around. We do not want to see in this area. Like, we do not want to see the landscape of the Ozarks turn to this dystopian hyperscale industrialization. Okay. That is not why we moved here, right? I can't believe so many locals are like, whatever, like it's got to happen somewhere. Oh yeah, no, it doesn't. But like, we can talk about that in a minute, but here's the blueprint we need for these rural counties in southern Missouri. We lack planning and zoning. We need commissioners that see that they have the authority to do temporary moratoriums, right? Give us a pause on these construction projects. Have nothing to do with planning and zoning. We're not talking about anything regarding planning and zoning. We're talking about a pause to look into health and safety issues, right? Health and safety for the public. That's what we're talking about. Once we have that pause, we need to figure out like what can be done. Ballot initiative, permanent ordinances, permanent moratoriums, perhaps. What I'm finding is that a lot of commissioners are scared. They're scared in Missouri to look like they're anti-development in any way. And I think what we need to do is we need to get local governments focused more on like pro-agriculture, right? Because we do want development here. We want production. And so I want to push back right now on a few of like the really misleading arguments that are for data centers. And people A lot of people are talking about, hey, this is going to bring jobs to the area. And honestly, you guys, it's crazy. Some of those small data centers, guess how many full-time employees they have? Yes, 5 to 10. Once they are built, guess what? They're pretty much run on AI. And I mean, you guys, this is the whole thing, is that there is nothing in AI that is going to lead to like these enriching and long-lasting jobs for humans. Like, that's not part of the plan. You need to listen to like these tech giants. Listen to how dystopian and crazy their public statements are. They're not even like hiding it. And then what's crazy is they want us to destroy our land and water for unchecked AI and like robotics rollout, right? And like the surveillance of everything. Then people like Elon Musk tell us that we can't compete, so we're going to have to get one of his brain chips in to be able to even compete in what the modern world is going to become. And it's like, do you see how we're being steered? And like, I just have this deep, sinking, God-inspired feeling that like, I feel the darkness of it. I feel it. It's literally in every cell of my being. And I understand that that's not analytics. Like, you know, I can't prove that as data, but I think that we should like still give some allowance for that. I can feel that these are evil. And the thing is that water is absolutely priceless. And as I've talked about in other videos, like people from Missouri do not know what it's like to save $30,000 to put in a well and drill 6 dry holes for 2 days. 6 dry holes, and spend $30,000 that you saved up for like 2 years, you know what I mean? On nothing, on dead, depleted aquifers. Why? Why would we risk that for an industry that at best, you guys, if we're gonna go hyperscale, we're talking like 50 employees. If it's mid-scale, probably 20 employees. If it's small, 5 to 10 employees. We're gonna trade clean water for that? Okay, so that's not a good argument. Like, let's bring real production and real industry into these communities here that would actually give like maybe even hundreds of people jobs. Like that we could get excited about and produce something real that humans need. Because also this need of AI, first of all, we often don't even know who the end user is of these data centers. Isn't that weird? It's like we're in a gold rush right now and no one even knows what they're going to be used for. The people rushing to build these often don't even know the end user and what they're going to be used for. That is both stupid and kind of oddly creepy, honestly. Like, what the heck is going on here? Somehow no one knows anything, but we're rushing towards something we have to have. What? Something I want to leave everyone with. Super creep me out, okay? At Stanford University, which has got to be like a satanic cult that runs that place, but I believe it was Stanford. It was one of the creepy colleges, which, you know, they're all in the inn. They trained AI to read your wireless router that's in your home. It can read your movement and heat signature, but it's not a movement sensor. It's like reading like your frequency movements. Like every time you move, like the entire environment is altered. And so it's not reading heat. It's not reading movement. It's like reading frequency is the only way I can describe it. And it is producing a video that looks like exactly like heat sensor, but like kind of almost like night vision too. Like I can't even describe it, but it's like video of people, like their exact shape, moving in their homes. And that's AI now turning your wireless router, your modem, into a camera. Oh my gosh, that's so amazing that they're training AI to do that. Like, I really hope that they build some giant data centers to fuel more research like this, because I feel more free. I feel better protected. Don't you, America? Don't you, Missouri? Don't you feel better knowing that that's what this is all over? We were told just a few months ago by mainstream media and politicians that like, we're just waiting for the rollout of not just digital currency, but programmable currency. Look into programmable currency and you tell me how that is worth destroying our farmland and our water for money that governments can literally manipulate, turn on, turn off, change the value of. Why in the heck would anybody support that? That is human. I don't understand. Okay? So here's what's frustrating to me, and I'll stop yelling and I'll go. I'm speaking out a little bit on Facebook and I'm hearing the stupidest things. Like, I'm hearing things like, well, you're on your phone now and that's using AI and data. And it's like, you know what? First of all, I'm annoyed with the use of AI. It is already too much. It is already annoying me. I don't want it. So I actually would just like to use the phone. Okay. We already have the towers that are hideous and potentially harmful. They're everywhere. So why do we have to have it to this next level? And you know what? No, I don't need a multi-100-acre data center to use my phone. And I never needed it before to use social media. Okay. This is for something bigger. We're in the Bible Belt here, right? We're supposed to be the buckle on the belt. Seriously, read Revelations. You guys, read Revelations. And then all I'm saying is this. If there was one industrial projects that had the potential to bring forth biblical prophecy, would it not be data centers? Would it not? Nobody will be able to buy or sell without the mark. We aren't just talking about health and safety. I think we're actually talking about freedom too. And that's what's ironic is I moved here to Missouri because it's Republican and because I thought I found the most free place remaining in the country and maybe one in the world. And that freedom, that lack of regulation is now going to bring something so hideous to this area. So here's my goal. Let's keep no planning and zoning. I don't want it. Do you want it? It's why so many of us love this area, right? Let's figure out a way to slow down and at least have an opportunity to thoroughly research huge, large-scale, hyperscale industrial projects. Let's figure out how to do it through health and safety standards, concerns, and this is going to be a new blueprint. Okay, we're going to figure out how to preserve no planning and zoning and also be able to confront data center construction. That is what we have to do here right now in South Central Missouri. You guys, please come to the meeting May 11th at 10 a.m. at the commissioner's office in room 12, okay, in Marshfield. And it should be huge. Anyone that's connected to the Springfield Plateau Aquifer has a right to be there, okay? Until next time, stay brave.